Right, what I'm going to do then today is just try and demonstrate how easy it is to install the Wunderlich Xtreme cylinder head guards to a BMW GSA 1250. I got these from Nippy Norman's a few days ago and just thought I'd have a go at fitting them today. So I'll just try and show. I'm not a mechanic by any stretch of the imagination, so this is just a guide. Please refer to the usual instruction manuals or seek advice from a professional mechanic or from BMW themselves. If you have any doubts, please do not rely on this video purely as a definitive guide about how to install these, and obviously I hold no responsibility if any damage is caused to your own bike as a result of following my instructions. But please feel free, use this as a guide and hopefully you'll learn something from it and benefit from it. Okay, so first things first, in order to get to the cylinder heads that are on the bike currently, in order to cover them up and put on the new ones, which I shall show you here. And in order to put that on the original casing or over the original casing, I think the only way you can do this realistically is to take off the lower section of the fairings on the GS Adventure. So I'm going to remove that bolt there. I'm going to remove that bolt there, which is on the underside of the fairing, and then looking up here, you can see that nut there. That just holds on the lower section but on the top lug, so that's going to come off there. I will disconnect this coupling joint here between the upper and the lower section of the fairing, and just for ease to get to these two bolts, I'll disconnect the spotlight and then just cable tie that up. I've already got a cable tie on here just ready, just to put the bolt through there and have that dangling. It won't cause any harm there. So I shall get on and do that, and then come back to you in a moment. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do here then is just disconnect the spotlight, which is easy enough to do. Slide that out, and I'm going to put the bolt back through. I'm just going to loop it through this cable tie that I've already put on. Put the nut on the other side, that way I'm not going to lose it. And that can just dangle there, it's not causing any issues to anybody. In fact, I think it'll probably go there. So that's good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to disconnect the jointing, the coupling bracket or the coupling plate between the upper and the lower fairing, just here. That didn't last long, fell off. Again, there's a bit of thread lock on that, so just be mindful of that when you're reassembling it. Just get ready to catch that. And then that's just a coupling pin that joins the two sections together. So I'm just going to put these bolts back in there just so they don't get lost, but I'm sure they won't do. Right, so we're just going to take this bolt here out now. And put that bolt somewhere safe. What I'm going to do now is just remove the bolt that's underneath the front header pipe, or just behind it slightly, which is just there. And then the final bolt that I need is just this one here, and that will allow me to separate the upper and lower fairing. But it is just a bit fiddly. Out it comes. There we go. Okay, so you've now got the lower part of the fairing, the crash bars just removed, and it gives you nice clear access to the cylinder head. So what I would do at this point is just give the cylinder head a good clean and get rid of any crud that you couldn't otherwise see with the crash bars on or get to. So I'm just going to use a bit of WD-40, give it a quick blast over. And hopefully that will do. Right, what I'm going to point out now are two fixing points underneath the cylinder head where you'll attach the new Wunderlich product. So you've got that fixing point that you can see there in the middle of the frame. Now just be mindful that that one is not vertical pointing down, it's at a slight angle. So when you are fixing on the screw to the underside of the cover that's going to go over the cylinder head, just make sure that you allow for the slight angle of that fixing point, otherwise you run the risk of cross-threading the bolt and causing a bit of damage, so just be mindful of that. And then we have, if I just move forward along the same line, just get that in focus. Okay, so there in the middle of the frame you've got the second fixing point. Let's just see if I can get a better view of that. That's there, so that's the front one. So you've got those two, and again I'll just show you how that all attaches on in a moment. Right, so with this bolt here which goes into the original cylinder head, there's a receptor there, if you like, for another bolt to go through that once it's gone through the outer casing of the Wunderlich product. So this needs to be secured at 10 Newton meters. Okay, so that's all that needs there. So what I'm going to do now is just present the Wunderlich cover to the original cylinder head. And then just snap that into place. There's a lug on the front edge of the cover, and it just needs to go between the cylinder head grooves. It explains how to do that on the instructions that you get with the product from Wunderlich. So what I'm going to do now is just attach the two bolts underneath, and they just need a little bit of paste on them which comes with the product. So if you can focus on that, that's what comes with the product, and that just needs to go on these bolts. And then you've got a fixing point here. So I'm just going to do that finger tight to start with. And then I'm going to cinch that up. And again, that is also 10 Newton meters. And I'm going to give that a clean, get all the crap off it. So then we can just look at putting the fairing back together. So the bottom bolts, they need a bit of Loctite on them. So I'm just going to get these to grip first. So again, I don't want to risk cross-threading anything. So that's that one there. Okay, so I've got that one in place. What I'm doing now is just refixing this linking bracket. Again, just a little bit of Loctite on there, just to prevent any issues. So I'm just going to compare that side with the other side and make sure the gaps are similar. More or less it is. Moving back around here, I'm just going to then fasten this one up. Go back to the front one. Just check that one. Make sure there's no cables snagged or anything of that nature. And then I'm just going to reaffix the headlight to the front. What I am going to do, just before I fasten that up properly, I am just going to torque these up properly. So I've done those two to 19 Newton meters. Just going to level that off. And then these two fixing points. I'm going to be done to 55 Newton meters. Make sure that's not trapping any cables, which it's not. I've done that to 19 Newton meters. So again, there's a cable there which is obviously for the spotlight. That's free, it's not trapped between any nuts and framework. Let's cut this off, this cable tie, get rid of that. So that's the finished product. So it just adds a nice little bit of additional protection, especially on the underside from flying debris, tar deposits on the road. Comes completely around the front. I think it looks okay to me.